Chapter 19. The Black Spot Again. The council of the buccaneer had lasted some time when one of them re-entered the house, and with a repetition of the same salute, which had, in my eyes, an ironical air, begged for a moment's loan of the torch. Silver briefly agreed, and this emissary retired again, leaving us together in the dark. "There's a breeze coming, Jim," said Silver, who had by this time adopted quite a friendly and familiar tone. I tuned to the loophole nearest me and looked out. The embers of the great fire had so far burned themselves out, and now glowed so low and duskily that I understood why these conspirators desired a torch. About halfway down the slope to the stockade, they were collected in a group and held the light. Another was on his knees in the mist, and I saw the blade of an open knife shine in his hand with varying colors in the moon and the torchlight. The rest were all somewhat stooping, as though watching the maneuvers of this last. I could just make out that he had a book as well as knife in his hand, and was still wondering how anything so incongruous had come to their possession, when the kneeling figure rose once more to his feet, and the whole party began to move together towards the house. "Here they come," said I, and I returned to my former position, for it seemed beneath my dignity that they should find me watching them. "Well, let them come, lad, let them come," said Silver cheerily. "I've still a shot in my locker." The door opened, and 5 men standing huddled together just inside pushed one on their number forward. In any other circumstances it would have been comical to see this slow dance, hesitating as he sat down each foot, but holding his closed right hand in front of him. "Set up, lad," cried Silver. "I won't eat you. Hand it over, lubber. I know the rules, I do. I won't hurt a deputation." Thus encouraged, the buccaneer stepped forth more briskly, and having passed something to Silver from hand to hand, slipped yet more smartly back again to his companions. "Does the cook look at what had been given to him, the black spot?" "I thought so," he observed. "Where might you have got the paper?" "Why, hell, look here, now, this ain't lucky. You have gone and cut this out of a Bible." "What fools!" "What fools got a Bible?" "Ah, there," Morgan said, "there. What did I say? No good'll come that, I said." You've about fixed it now among yous," continued Silver. "You'll all swing now, I reckon. What soft-headed lubber had a Bible?" "It was Dick," said one. "Dick, was it? Then Dick can get to prayer," said Silver. "He's seen his slice of luck, has Dick, you may lay to that." But here a long man with the yellow eyes struck in. "Barely that talk, John Silver," he said. The crew has tipped you the black spot in full council, as in duty bound. You just turn it over as in duty bound, and see what's wrong there. Then you can talk." "Thank you, George," replied the seacook. "You're always a brisk for the business, and has the rules by heart, George, as I'm pleased to see. Well, what is it, anyway?" "Ah, depose. What is it? Very pretty road, to be sure, like print, I swear. Your hand all right, George?" "Why, you was getting quite a leading man in this here crew. You'll be captain next, I shouldn't wonder. Just oblige me with that torch again, will you? This pipe don't draw." "Come now," said George, "don't fool this crew no more. You're a funny man by your account, but you're over now, and you'll maybe step down of that barrel and help vote." "I thought you said you know the rules," returned Silver contemptuously. "Leastways, if you don't, I do, and I await here. I'm still your captain, mind. To you oaths with your grievances, and I reply. In the meantime, your black spot ain't worth a biscuit. After that, we'll see. Oh, replied George, you don't be under no kind of apprehension. We're all square, we are. First, you've made a hash of this cruise. You'll be a bold man to say no that. Second, you let the enemy out of this here trap for nothing. What did they want out? I don't know. But it's pretty plain they wanted it. Third, you wouldn't let us go at them upon the march. Oh, we see through you, John Silver. You want to play booty. That's what's wrong with you. And then fourth, there's this here boy. And is that all? Asked Silver quietly. Enough, too, retorted George. We all swing and sun dry for your bungling. Bungling. Well, now look here. Alongside these 4 pins, one after another, alongside them. I made a hash of this cruise, did I? Well, now you all know that I wanted what I wanted, and you all know if that had been done, we all have been aboard the Española this night as ever was, every man of us alive and fit, and full of good plum duff, and the treasure in the hold of her. By thunder, well, who crossed me, who forced my hand, as was the lawful captain, who tipped me the black spot the day we landed, and began this dance? Ah, it's a fine dance, I'm with you there, and looks mighty like a hornpipe in a rope set and at execution dog by London town it does. But who done it? Why, it was Anderson and Hans, and you, George Mary, and you are the last above board of that same Mindling crew, and you have Davy Jones' insolence to up and stand for a captain over me. You that sang me lot of us, by the powers, but this tops the stiffest yawn to nothing. Silver paused, and I could see the faces of George and his late comrades that these words had not been said in vain. That's for number 1, cried the accused, wiping the sweat from his brow. And for he had been talking with a vehemence that shook the house. Why, I give you my word, I'm sick to speak to you. I'm sick to speak to you, if neither sense nor memory and a livid fancy where your mother's was let you come to see. See, gentleman of fortune, oh, I reckon tailors is your trade. Go on, John, said Morgan, speak up to the others. Ah, the others, returned John. They are a nice lot, ain't they? You say the cruise is bungled. Ah, by gum, if you could understand how bad it's bungled, you will see. We are at near the gibbet that my neck's stiff with thinking on it. You've seen 'em, maybe, hanging chains, birds about 'em, seeming painting 'em. Out of they go down with the tide. Who's that? Says one. That? Why, that's John Silver. I knowed him well, says another. And you can hear the chains a jangle as you do about and reach for the other boy. Now that's about where we are. Every mother's son of us, thanks to him and Hans and Anderson and the other nations fools of you. And if you want to know about number 4 and that boy, why shiver my timbers, isn't he a hostage? Are we going to waste a hostage? Not us. He might be our last chance, and I shouldn't wonder. Kill that boy? Not me, mates. And number 3. Ah, well, there's a deal to say to number 3. Maybe you don't count it nothing to have a real college doctor come to see you every day. You, John, with your head broke, or you, George Mary, that had a ague shakes upon you not 6 hours ago, and has your eyes the color of lemon peel to the same moment on the clock, and maybe perhaps you didn't know there was a concert coming either, but there is, and not so long till then we'll see. You'll be glad to have hostage when it comes to that, And as for numbers 2 and why I made a bargain, well, you came crawling on your knees to make it. On your knees you came, and you was downhearted, and you've starved too, if I hadn't. But that's a trifle. You look there, that's why. And he cast down upon the floor a paper that I instantly recognized. None other than the chart on yellow paper with the 3 red crosses that I have found in old cloth at the bottom of the captain's chest, where the doctor had given it to him, was more than I could fancy. But if it were inexplicable to me, the appearance of the chart was incredible to the surviving mutineers. They leaped upon it like cats upon a mouse. It went from hand to hand, one tearing it from another, and by the oaths and the cries and the childish laughter with which they accompanied their examination, you will have thought not only that they were fingering the very gold, but were at sea with it, besides in safety. Yes, said one, that's Flint, sure enough, J.F., and a score below, with a clove hitched to it, so he done ever. Mighty pretty, Sir Judge, but how are we to get away with it? And us no ship. Silver suddenly sprang up and supporting himself with a hand against the wall. Now I give you warning, George, he cried. One more word of your souls, and I'll call you down and fight you. How? Why, how do I know? You had ought to tell me that, you and the rest that lost me my schooner with your interference, burn you. But not you, you can't. You ain't got the invention of a cockroach. But civil you can speak, and shall, George Mary, you may lay to that. That's fair enough, said the old Morgan. Fair, I reckon so, said the sea cook. You lost the ship, I found the treasure. Who's the better man at that? And now I resign, by thunder, elect whom you please to be captain now, I'm done with it. Silver, they cry, barbecue forever, barbecue for captain. So that's the tune, isn't it? Cried the cook. George, I reckon you'll have to wait another turn, friend, and lucky for you as I am not revengeful, man. But that was never my way, and now, shipmates, this black spot, 'tain't much good now, is it? Dick's crossed his luck and spoiled his Bible, and that's all about. Till do kiss the book and still, won't it? Growled Dick, who was evidently uneasy at the course he had brought upon himself. A Bible with a bit cut off, returned Silver derisively. Not it, I don't buy no more a ballad book. Done it though, cried Dick with a sort of joy. Well, I reckon that's worth having too. Here, Jim, here's a curiosity for you, said Silver, and he tossed me the paper. It was a roundabout size of a crown piece. One side was black, for it had been the last leaf. The other contained a verse or two of Revelation. Those words among the rest, which struck sharply home upon my mind, without our dogs and murderers. The printed side had been blackened with wood ash, which already began to come off and soil fingers. On the black side had been written with the same material the one word deposed. I have that curiosity beside me at this moment, but not a trace of writing now remains beyond a single scratch, such as a man might make with this thumbnail. That was the end of the night's business. Soon after, with a drink all round, we lay down to sleep, and the outside of Silver's vengeance was to put George Mary up for sentinel, and threaten him with death if he should prove unfaithful. It was long ere I could close an eye, and heaven knows I had a matter enough of thought in the man whom I had slain that afternoon, in my own most perilous position, and above all in the remarkable game that I had so Silver now engaged upon, keeping the mutineers together with one hand, and grasping with the other after every means possible and impossible to make his peace and save his miserable life. He himself slept peacefully and snored out loud. Yet my heart was sore with him, wicked as he was, to think on the dark perils that environed, and the shameful gibbet that awaited him.